too high.
Let's go across to our guest joining us, Piyush Chawla, former Indian cricketer, and Atul Vasan, former Indian cricketer, also with me. Piyush, what do you make of the stage and the fervour with which both of these teams will be facing each other this Sunday? You've played a very crucial match in the Asia Cup against Pakistan. You had a 4-wicket haul in that match, if I remember correctly. Describe to us what it's like stepping out against an arch rival like that, and what could be the factor for the Indian team?
Well, if somebody says it's just another game, I'll tell you very clearly it's not, because there are a lot of emotions, a lot of sentiments attached to that game, and there are so many Indians who will be looking forward for this game. So I think it's going to be a very special game, and especially after whatever happened, India playing first time against Pakistan. So a lot of people will be looking up to that game and really want India to win this game one-sidedly, so that there will be a lot of things, a lot of emotion which are going through around the country that will settle a bit.
Atul, your take?
First of all, let me just compliment you that this is the first program where we have talked about cricket, because this match is just not talking about who's going to win and all. And I actually have not even thought, because because we have been beating Pakistan so often that the law of diminishing returns has kicked in, and I think that the whole contest is diluted because we are superior. And I think, but people just build it around, and they beat everybody, beats themselves into a frenzy that this is something bigger. And in the backdrop of what has happened in the last month and all. So I think there are bigger issues. It's just not a single match, because Pakistan have got everything to gain from this. Because, in Pakistan, the fans actually equate beating India in cricket as winning against India. So this is how the whole country actually, just.
You're saying the stakes are higher for Pakistan than for India?
No, because Pakistan, what happens is, because the players also know that if they do well against India, their life is set. But Indian cricket ecosystem have moved miles ahead. And I think we don't actually focus so much on this match, because it used to be like this. But now India is, very mature, very balanced. And all the players also have become so comfortable in what they're doing, the process, that they don't feel that this is a do or die thing.
Yeah.
The fans all actually just, hype it up a bit, but so I just hope it's a good contest.
Yeah. No, we'll talk about the contest and what could define it. But Piyush, you want to talk a little bit about how this rivalry has progressed over the years, let's say from the time when you faced them, I think it was over a decade ago, to now. Do you think players were much more nervous then than today?
Well, I don't think so. Players are much more nervous now, because if you see...
No, less nervous today.
Less nervous, because if you see, clearly India holds the edge against the Pakistan. If you see both sides, India clearly way stronger than the Pakistani team. So, as Atul bhai just mentioned, Pakistan, they have stakes, they have higher stakes for this game. But at the same time, they don't have much they don't expect much from this game out of it. So I think they are less nervous, but at the same time, India wants to win against Pakistan. The pressure is always there to win the game, but India holds the edge definitely.
Okay, let's talk about this particular contest. As I said, it's very new look teams on both sides, and we'll talk about that in just a bit, but let's set up this clash for you. India's squad boasts a powerful batting lineup led by Suryakumar Yadav with support from Shubman Gill, Abhishek Sharma and Sanju Samson. The return of Jasprit Bumrah adds firepower to the bowling attack. Pakistan counters with a fierce pace trio Shaheen Afridi, Haris Rauf and Hassan Ali, and a young batting core featuring Fakhar Zaman and Saim Ayub. Captain Salman Agha will look to anchor the middle order. There are many key battles to watch out for, including one between Bumrah and Zaman, Shaheen and Gill, and the finishing duel between Hardik Pandya and Haris Rauf. The UAE's hot and humid conditions could play a role, with temperatures expected to hover around 33 degrees Celsius during the evening. With both teams in form and a potential rematch looming in the Super Force, Sunday's clash promises fireworks. Fireworks indeed. I'm also joined by Vimal, a sports journalist. Vimal, you're in Dubai. A lot of pressure on both sides, or do you think both sides feeling a little bit settled, given that they would have played their first matches and before the big one, they would get some time to settle into this tournament?
Hi, Shivani. Thank you very much. I think if you talk about pressure, obviously, normally we associate India-Pakistan game, high voltage, high pressure game, but this is quite an unusual game. And Piyush might and Atul Bhai might find it difficult to believe that we are talking about India-Pakistan, but there is no pressure at all in Indian on Indian cricket team because they have been far superior side. If you look at Pakistani cricket team and if you look at Indian team, man to man, there is no comparison. And the way Indian team has played under Surya Kumar Yadav post 2024 World Cup, they have been phenomenal. If you look at, but not only against this Pakistani team, put this Indian team against any team right now, in terms of strike rate, batting ability, firepower, the match-winning bowlers. You look at someone like Arshdeep Singh. He has not been able to make it to the playing 11, who has been the #1 bowler in T20 international cricket. India going with just one pacer in Jasprit Bumrah. That speaks volumes about Indian team's strength, phenomenal strength. So I think all pressure is on Pakistan because they know that they are up against a very formidable Indian side.
Yes, and India showed that as far as their first match is concerned. Before I talk about that, Vimal, the issue also is that, both of these teams are now don't have some of their stalwarts in limited overs edition. Are both of these teams kind of looking like they're looking at a renewed chapter, whether it's T20 cricket or otherwise, white ball cricket basically? Is that sense prevailing on both sides?
I think if you look at from Pakistan side, yes, Babar Azam and Rizwan are not playing. They have been the big players. But if you look at that, these two players were not contributing. They were always constantly under, criticism. So they moving away from the game. I think a lot in Pakistani are relieved. While if you compare it with the Indian cricket team, Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma, they won the World Cup and they decided to hang their boot. So they left the field very gracefully. They were not part of the T20 side for 1 year prior to the World Cup. And it speaks volumes. Again, you say that even if Virat and Rohit, some of these players are not there, Indian team has gone from strength to strength. And it looks as if, as of now, because if you look at the 19 matches, 20 matches, they have won out of 23 under Surya Kumar Yadav's captaincy. So I think maybe this is just like if you look at that, India will have to play very bad on a given day to lose a single match, because last time when they were here for the Champions Trophy, they did not lose a single match. When they play the T20 World Cup in West Indies and USA, they did not lose a single match. They hardly lose any matches. And the reason is that if you look at the kind of firepower, someone like Sanju Samson, who has been a terrific opener, India has the option to drop someone like Sanju to the middle order.
Yes.
The kind of depth, I think this is simply a staggering bench strength India have.
Right. Piyush, people are still talking about how there's no ROCO as far as, this India-Pakistan clash is concerned. Even if it's not about what they're contributing with the bat on the field, just when tempers rise, when tensions are high in a high-stakes match, high electric match, sometimes the presence of those seniors who have done it, who've been there and done it all, can help. Do you think there is any way that this Indian team will miss that experience, or do you think this side is fairly settled now?
Well, if you look at the current Indian team, as just Vimal mentioned, the amount of games they've won, whatever they have played in, post Rohit and Kohli era in T20 cricket, they're doing a wonderful job. And somebody like Arshdeep, who's not getting a chance in the playing 11, being in the top 5 of world T20 bowlers. So I think this team looks really set. And you always miss these kind of players, but the time, this is the part and parcel of the game. One has to come and then go. So now we can't even say that this team is going through a transition period, because if you see all the players in this squad, they have so much of experience. And when you place a tournament like IPL, where the standard are so high, so you know how to handle the pressure, how to hold your nerves in those difficult situations. They have been through all of that, no matter when you're playing for your franchise and when you're playing for your country, because you learn from that. You play your domestic cricket and you play IPL, so you learn all these things from those games. So when it comes to the big stage, they know how to handle those situations. So they all are prepared for it and ready for it. So there is enough experience in this dressing room to handle these kind of situations.
Atul, the contrarian question could also be that, regardless of how well settled this team is, I mean, you look at those numbers that Virat Kohli possesses against Pakistan in T20 internationals or in ODIs. He was a very steady figure who almost always delivered against Pakistan, right?
Well,
whether
that's
it was
why he's a
T20
genius,
World Cup
yeah.
or Asia Cup. You're going to miss somebody holding it together in the middle, because India's lack of consistency in the middle order is what that has been troubling. And this is the Pakistan side which is very new. They wouldn't have played against most of these players.
Well, that's why I said that India B team will also beat this Pakistan team, because things have changed. When we played in 90s, they were a very good side. So we were less than them, and they dominated us. Now the boot is on the other foot. And I think, I will not miss Rohit and Virat, because, then I will start missing Sunil Gavaskar and Kapil Dev also, So king is dead, long live the king. Things move. There are new superstars coming. And there's embarrassment of riches. And I feel sorry for the selectors, because to keep everybody in the mix, because, who's to drop, who's to pick. And that's why the conjecture is, and that's why
not just
we
in the
debate.
Squad, but even in the playing 11, you could have many
it gives us some material, because even the street vendor will argue with me who's going to play in tomorrow, So everybody knows cricket. So that is the beauty of it. But we've got talented players, and our ecosystem is to be complemented. It's just because we moved miles ahead. And I think because of Pakistan's desperation, because, one good game by Shaheen Shah Afridi, they say we've got Wasim Akram. And then see, that's the monkey on the back for him. And, 100 Fakhar Zaman got, and then he was compared to Saeed Anwar, So, and this is what happens. So, our guys, allegedly, Vimal will agree with me, they retired. And there is no such thing as graceful in cricket. But these two guys, the Rizwan and Babar Azam, they've been shown the door. And that is the right thing they've done, because the team was suffering because of that system of, these players who have not achieved too much, and their body of work is not deserving enough to be compared with the greats.
Lots of stars to talk about as far as the last performance is concerned. And Piyush, several people have been telling me that in Pakistan, when they are doing their analysis of the Asia Cup, they're actually very worried about facing the Indian side, given the performance against the UAE team. I mean, that was not, I wouldn't even call it clinical. It was like even superior to clinical.
Well, we know what this Indian team is made up of. And as I mentioned earlier, there is enough experience. These guys have played quality cricket for so many years. So Pakistan has to be on the back foot looking at the Indian squad, because the quality of spinners, quality of fast bowlers, then if you see the firepower in the batting lineup, they have covered all the bases, which is very important. And T20 cricket, that's what you want. That the strike rate has to be up. That's what the cricket demands, but totally depends on the condition as well. So Vimal Bhai must be aware and will tell us better that what kind of a pitch it is, that what kind of score you can expect. But all those batters I've played with, I've played against within the Indian team, they all know just one way to go. That's go out there and express yourself, and that's the most important thing.
Vimal, the other thing also is, yes, UAE is UAE. Pakistan is said to be a little bit different, isn't it? Even though Pakistani experts are suggesting UAE match is over under 5 overs, maybe the Pakistan match would be over under 10 overs.
See, one thing I want to say, Shivani, if you talk about earlier, it used to be whenever there was the Asia Cup, India, Pakistan, the two arch rivals and all that we talk about. It is quite ironical, because when we come here and we are discussing, most of the Indian players or supporters, they are worried about Afghanistani team. The Afghanistani team has a far more lethal bowling attack if you look at their spinners, their batsmen. So the Pakistan standard has gone so down that people are saying that we might get a very competitive game against Afghanistan, not against Pakistan. And this is not just to belittle what Pakistan team is. This is just the reality, or just not showing that we are too far. So on a given day, any team can defeat any team. But just face the reality. This Pakistan team has man-to-man, as we say, form-wise. Like, look at the UAE game. India won so convincingly, they did not require even 20 overs to finish the game. While just 1 week back, they were playing against UAE, the same UAE side, and they were being stressed out, even though they won the T20 tri-series.
Yes.
So there is a huge gap in terms of class. And the kind of practice session I saw, some of the Indian practice session, if any of the Pakistani teams saw the practice session, they will get intimidated. Like flurry of sixes. Like you look at the top order, Abhishek Sharma, all the balls just right behind the Indian team practice session has just started. You see that the sixes, the power hitting. Someone like Hardik Pandya, just hitting the sixes on the extra cover and cover region. Forget a straight drive. So those are the difficult and the kind they were hitting sixes at will. The six hitter, the wicket takers. You look at Varun Chakravarti, you look at Kuldeep Yadav. Both mystery spinners in the same playing 11. Bumrah, we don't have to talk about Bumrah because Bumrah is alone equal to two bowlers. So I think it will be a miracle. It will be a miracle. Forget winning against India. If Pakistan manages to get a competitive game, I think
Exactly.
they should be happy.
You know, you're right. A lot of us are worried if we will get a competitive game because at the end of the day, regardless of the team, you want to see that. You want to see good cricket, good action. But Vimal, before I go to Atul, do tell us about those conditions. What is it likely to be? What has it been like? What is it likely to be?
Yeah, unlike a Champions Trophy earlier this year, in the Fab March, the wickets were used wickets, so there was a lot of assistance for the spinners, and that's why India played in some matches. India went with 4 spinners. Here, despite the pitches are fresh, you know. And there was expected, the first match, Morne Mokel came, the bowling coach, and he suggested that there was a tinge of grass, so there could be a, help for the pace bowler. But Shivam Dube, after playing the first game, he said that no, the wicket was slightly on the slower side. So it's difficult to predict, but if for India, the best thing, they have taken pitch out of the equation, because the moment you have 3 pacers, India can go with any combination. They will always have 3 pacers and 3 quality spinners. So even if someone has a bad day, there will be 1 bowler to chip in.
Absolutely.
So I don't think if there is a one team who is not worried at all about the nature of the pitches in this tournament, it is Indian team.
Well, the picture you're painting, Vimal, is that, basically nobody is a contest to India. We might as well hand the trophy to India already.
I was about to say this.
Yeah. But Atul, obviously, lots of slips before the cup and the lip. But the luxury that India does have indeed, as Vimal was pointing out, is that it has so many all-rounders and match-winning all-rounders in the team that really just gives it so much more cushion to balance the batting and the bowling.
See, I think it's a cliche now, and if Pakistan, the team was listening to Vimal, they might as well not come to
turn
the
up for the
yeah,
match.
actually,
Exactly.
And this is the problem. Now the way these cricket journals, and he's been there, done a lot, and I know him. He's just built it up like this that when we lose after this hyperbole, we then again cry also so much. So I think it's a T20 is the only format which
T20 is a tricky format.
It is for
Indeed.
a weaker team to beat you. In test matches, superior side will always come back, And I think I know more about Salma Agha than Salman Agha, saying that because, because unless Pakistan does something against Australia, England, we will not rate them. And they have not made a name for themselves, So they have to do something out of the box. And they've been losing. In the last match we were playing, and in jest I said to a journal that I hope that Pakistan wins. And in that contest, I said, because we want more contests and because law of diminishing returns, if we keep on winning, it's like Amitabh Bachchan fighting Mukri. So people didn't hear that. And I got death threats just saying that Pakistan should win. I wanted Pakistan to win and reach the final.
Just be careful about what you say. Lesson out of that is, Atul, just be careful right now.
Shivani, I just have a point.
Yes.
Because even if Pakistan win one match, what we say,
And they might do actually, you never know.
Even if they win, it doesn't change the reality. Unless and until they defeat India 3 times in a row. Like India are likely to play the first game here in the league game on Sunday, then another Sunday, Super 4. And then if both teams reach final, if Pakistan manages to beat India
He wants
3 on a row, then I might
match
say.
series.
Okay.
Yeah. So then
Let's
I
not
will
go
say,
there.
but
Let's not go
don't
there.
see that is
I
happening.
really don't want to even talk about the scenario where India is losing this match from the point that India is so far above that it will reel through all of the opposition to now the thought of India losing to Pakistan. Let's not go there at all. But Piyush, I want to talk to you about the spin factor. Vimal was talking about traditionally we do expect the spin to play a lot of to play a role, but how much of it do you expect in the next match coming up against Pakistan? Also, how are you rating Pakistani spinners? They've got a few spinners to play the trick as well.
Well, they have good spinners. I've seen Abrar bowling and then Nawaz is there. But again, if you compare man to man, Kuldeep Yadav way ahead of him. Varun Chakravarti way ahead of him. So I feel India has a better advantage playing in these grounds. And I feel personally as a spinner in T20 pitch doesn't make much of a difference. If you're bowling in the good areas, you're bowling good balls, and especially when you play tournament like IPL, I'm mentioning IPL again and again because as a spinner, there is a lot of challenge as a spinner because the flat wickets, quality batters, small ground. When you go to Dubai, little slower wicket, big ground, so you have that kind of an advantage as a spinner. So if you compare Varun Chakravarti to Abrar, Kuldeep Yadav to Nawaz, so they hold the edge definitely because the way they are bowling. Varun is
Okay.
bowling really well for the last 3-4 years. It's just not about like 3-4-6 months. You talk about in playing for India when he made a comeback, he's doing a brilliant job. Kuldeep Yadav, he didn't get a game in England. It's not easy for a player, sit out for almost 3 months and straight away come into the game and deliver this kind of a performance. No matter it was against UAE, but still you have to bowl in good areas to get the batter out. So
Okay.
I think Indian spinners, they're definitely better
Far
than
superior.
Pakistani spinners.
Well, as all of our experts mentioned, we do know that Indian team is far superior to the Pakistani team, but it is a T20 contest. Anything can always happen. There is an element of the fans here. There is an element of the added pressure of the nation's expectations on your shoulders as well. I do want to leave on this one note that Pakistan have lost 4 of their last 5 T20 internationals in Dubai, despite the fact that they're so familiar with this venue, and maybe there's a story to be told there. But I do thank all of our guests and experts for joining us. We'll keep getting you more as far as this top contest is concerned. Stay with CNN News 18.